Mic check, mic check. We're good. What's up? What is up? Happy Thursday. What's up, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well here on a Thursday. Phone lines are hot. Mic is hot. We are good to go. We are good to roll. Hope you're all doing well. Lots to get to, obviously. Talking Vanderbilt. You guys have any questions, comments regarding the game Saturday? Obviously, we can get into that. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we can do it. So, hope everybody's having a great day. If you haven't done so, check out the pod. Whatever you guys want. Dropped this morning, episode 292, Talking Vandy. Also fantastic convo. Kyle Peterson of ESPN joined the show. Really, really dope stuff. Really awesome interview. I told you guys yesterday, it's just one of those interviews that you sit there and you're like, wow, this is crazy. So, yeah, really, really cool stuff here. So, lot going on here on a Thursday. If I can just get the camera centered up. Yep. If I can just get the camera centered up here. There we go. Okay. Yeah, like I said, a lot to get into. Taking your questions, comments, whatever. 843-790-3377. And I'll put the number here as well if you guys do want to call in. So if you guys do want to call in, you're welcome. Again, my Vandy preview dropped this morning. Keys to the game, top storylines, key matchups, all that good stuff, all that fun stuff. So we'd love to take your questions, comments. Just dropped my keys to the game as far as in a graphic on social media just about 30 minutes ago. So we can talk all that. I will tell you guys, if you listen to the pod this morning, or if you listen to it at any point, you'll notice, I don't know if you will notice, but there were almost times where I kind of like spaced out because, dude, I'm not going to lie to you. It's hard to talk about Vandy. Like, there's not a lot to go off of when you're talking Vandy. And I said on social media, does anybody else feel like we should just kill this team? And I mean, it's just because you look at Vandy, you look at their rosters, like who stands out? What players, when I'm trying to go through key matchups, I'm like, what players stand out that South Carolina should really be concerned with? And I'm not trying to set up unrealistic expectations for this weekend, because in my head, in my heart, I'm like, I know this is probably going to be a battle and it's going to be much closer than I want it to be. But man, it's just like there are not many matchups that I just look and I'm like, South Carolina is going to lose that matchup. Like there's just not many of them. I mean, again, I'm looking at it right now. You just go down the roster and they have a true freshman quarterback. They lost their best running back. They lost their best wide receiver. They've got a lot of experience on defense. They've got a solid linebacker in Dimitri Moore. But, I mean, there's not a lot there for Vandy. I mean, this is a team that scored 19 points in 2 games. So, Tanner Poor says score prediction. I will be giving my score prediction on tomorrow's show, the official score prediction Friday. Obviously, I'm going to be picking South Carolina to win, though. I've got South Carolina covering the 12.5. So, obviously, I'm going to be picking them to win by 13 or more. So, I haven't really locked in on a score prediction yet. But I will tell you just off the jump, I do think South Carolina has a good performance and gets back on track. If you will, this week. I'm not sitting here trying to say that a win over Vandy is going to turn around the season, because just because you beat Vanderbilt doesn't really mean anything. It's a game you should win. But, I do think South Carolina I think we're going to have something to feel good about for once, finally, after Saturday's game. So, again, if you guys do want to call in, phone line is open, 843-790-3377. You're more than welcome, or obviously you can leave your questions right here. Darren Bagwell says 43-14 Cox. I would love that performance. That would be awesome. Carolina Titan, that's why anything less than a dominant performance is unacceptable. No, yeah, I agree. I mean, listen, like I said, talking on the show today, I mean, you think Dayo Odeyingbo, I think that's how you say his name. He's also a really good player as far on the defensive line. Defense is the strength, you could say, for Vandy. But, I mean, honestly, man, like it's just you go down the list, there's not a lot of guys on this Vanderbilt team that scare you, I mean, at all. So, Phil Carter Harris, Derek Mason has been there 7 years and has only won 6 games twice. The expectations there are so low. Bless their heart. Imagine being a Vandy fan. Yeah, I mean, and that's why Derek Mason won't get fired. We talk about Will Muschamp, the pandemic and all that, but I think he still could get fired. I think Derek Mason's probably 100% safe just because there are no expectations. Like, it's Vanderbilt football. Like, who really cares? You know what I mean? Like, and if there are any Vandy fans, God forbid, tune in. I hate to say that, but seriously, they're like, who cares? They can't even get their own fans to come to games. So, Travis Young, will we see Doty or Joyner? I surely hope so, because if you don't see him this week, when are you going to see him? You know what I mean? When are you going to get him out there? So Tanner Poor prediction: Shi Smith has 13 receptions and 145 yards. I mean, I'm not going to be mad if Shi Smith goes off again, but I really would love to see us use this opportunity this weekend to get it to other guys. You know what I mean? You feel like, again, against Vandy, it's a team you should be able to win a lot of matchups and you should have the advantage, the upper hand. I'd love to see some other guys get the ball. I mean, listen, you know Shi Smith, you know what he's going to do. I'd love to see Rico Powers get 4 or 5 catches, Josh Van get 4 or 5 catches, Dak Joyner get 4 or 5 catches. Like, I'd love to just see some other guys because we know we've got Shi Smith. That's a given. We know Shi Smith's going to be there every single week. But like I said before, you need to develop the number 3 guy, the number 2 guy. We need to see Xavier Legette ball out. The receivers as a whole need to play a lot better than they did last week, catching the football, making plays. So, I mean, heck, I expect Shi to have a big day. I mean, he's too good not to, but I'd like to see some other guys touch the football. And I'd like to see, ideally, you'd love this to be a game where in the second half you can get some young guys out there. Maybe Helinski does play. Maybe Luke Doty gets some snaps. You know what I mean? Like, you're getting younger guys out at wide receiver. Like, that's how you develop depth. That's how you develop those young guys, getting them actual game action. So, maybe it's asking too much. I don't know. I mean, again, I don't want to get my expectations too high or my hopes too high or whatever. But that's ideally what you'd like to see this weekend is get some young guys in there and get them some experience. Andrew Vincent want to see Caldwell. Yeah, Jakari Caldwell, another guy. Like I said, get those young guys in there, man. If Mike Wyman wasn't hurt, I'd love to see him get in there. Ideally, you need to get these young guys snaps, man. You need to get these young guys snaps 100%. Big Creek 61. Gamecocks by 20. You think Harris goes for 125 or better? I'll say yes. I think Harris rushes for 150. I think he'll have a big day. I mean, he ran for 100 last week against Florida. I'm hoping, I'm expecting, but I'm hoping he touches the ball at least 25 times. That's one of my keys to the game. Feed the ball to Kevin Harris. Give it to Kevin Harris. He showed you last week what he's capable of. You feel like this is a matchup you should be able to win as far as your offensive line against Vandy's defensive line. Give the football to Kevin Harris. Let him work. Establish the running game. And I said on the show, excuse me, my bad, coffee. I said on the show this morning, not that South Carolina has lacked an identity per se, but I think this is a great week to sort of start to establish that identity, in the sense of, as many knowns as you can have offensively, the better off you're going to be going throughout the season. Establishing that we are going to try to establish the run with Kevin Harris. We're going to run the football with Kevin Harris. We're going to work off that in play action or different sets or whatever, different personnel groups. I think it's nice to develop some consistency offensively. And again, as many knowns as you can have, the better. So I'm really hoping to see that from Kevin Harris. And I'm really hoping to see that from this offense. Get him going, a guy you can depend on week in, week out. He does that this week, and you start to look at it and say, yeah, he really is turning into our number 1 back for sure. I think this is a good week to do that. Andrew Vincent, what's the deal with Kenyon at tight end? Why hasn't he played at all, not developing? I think he's just buried on the depth chart, really, to be honest. I think it's just one of those things. We have a lot of tight ends, and whatever reason, Trey Kenyon's not in that rotation right now. Eric Henderson, not sure why Shiloh Sanders isn't playing more. He bulked over the last year. He looks good on coverage on the few plays he's been in. Better option than Smith, in my opinion. Better option than Smith. What Smith do we have in the secondary? Oh, Cam Smith. Oh, yeah. Dude, I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not the coach. I don't put him out there. I mean, I thought Shiloh looked decent. I thought Shiloh looked decent in the first game against Tennessee. I didn't see him out there a bunch against Florida. So, I'm down to get him out there, whatever. Get the best players out there. So, get the best players out there. And taking your calls, questions, comments, 843-790-3377. Would love to hear from you guys regarding Vandy. Anything else? You want to talk some baseball? We can do whatever. Over-under for drops on Saturday. I'd probably set the over-under at 5.5. 5.5 drops. I mean, I'd like to think it's going to be under for sure. I mean, yeah, so. Let's see. Yeah, like I said, taking your questions, comments, whatever it is, guys. Whatever it is. Greg Sankey sent out a memo about COVID-19. Don't relax. Don't relax. Stay on top of it. Probably because what happened at UGA. Jonathan Moffrey, what's up with the Strohs hat, bro? Honestly, I'm just rocking the hat. I'll tell you this, man. I'm not a Strohs fan. I'm a Braves guy. Obviously, and the Braves hopefully clinch the series today. Dude, I don't hate the Strohs like everybody else. I low-key like respect them being the villain. Like they just fully embrace being the villain, which is what I thought they should have done from the beginning. It's just a hat, though, man. I just like the hat, honestly. Eric Fry, put the 11 hardest hitting guys on defense for first half. Lace them with early and see what happens. Yeah, I think you should attack. Be aggressive on defense. You got a freshman quarterback in Ken Seals you're going up against. And again, they don't have a lot of offensive weapons. They've scored 19 points. 19 points in 2 games. That's what I said. Attack the freshman quarterback, but we need to be aggressive defensively. I want to see us be aggressive defensively. Go after these guys. Force some turnovers. Force the issue. You know what I mean? Make them beat you. And I don't think they're going to. I mean, I think the defense is going to have their best outing of the season. You know, you've been battle tested against a really, really, really good offense in Florida and a solid offense in Tennessee. Now you finally get a relief. You finally get a break. I think the defense is a big day, to be honest with you. Andrew Vincent, any reason why Jalen Brooks hasn't been cleared? The NCAA hates us. I don't know what else. I don't know what else to tell you. The NCAA hates us, I guess. Let's see. Eric Henderson, frustrating not seeing the younger talent not getting any time, as you stated. If it's not working, try someone different. Yeah, I mean, just get the best players on the field. That's all you want. Ritter, what's up, Ritter? I'm worried we give Vandy quarterback an amazing game knowing our defense. I mean, could it happen? I guess, sure, but true freshman quarterback, we've got guys up front that should be able to get after him. I feel confident in that. Lance Player, we need to let Birch eat. Yeah, get him on the field. Get him on the field, man. Get this young talent on the field. Because right now, if you're Will Muschamp, that's like the only thing you can sell to this fan base is that look at the young talent. Like we have guys in place for the future. That to me is the only thing. Because if you're Will Muschamp, you need to hammer that home in the sense of like getting those young guys on the field and getting them reps and like showing, hey, there's promise here for the future. So, yeah, if Carolina loses to Vandy, you will see a post-game rant similar to the one I had after UNC last year. And I'm not over-exaggerating. Lance Player, take the chains off of Tonka and Birch. I agree. Eric Henderson, tough thing like several games last year. We could have won both of our games. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's the opportunities were there. Tanner Poor, Birch needs to play more. I agree. He needs to get on the field more. He's a guy, like I said, with a ton of talent, and you want to get all your talented guys on the field. So, yeah, I want to see him more, especially in a game like this. You know, get him opportunities. Get him opportunities for sure. Let's see. Let's see. Will Collins. Shout out Will Collins. What's up, man? Do they have any other experienced quarterbacks on Vandy? You take a look. I mean, Ken Seals is their guy. I think he's really the only guy that's played quarterback. They've got another guy, Jeremy Musa, who's a junior. But as far as experience in playing, no. Riley Neal took all the snaps last year. No, they have no experience playing wise. So they're going with the freshman. That's who's going to play. Let's see. Eric Fryer calling it now. Dickerson with a pick Saturday and some ESPN-worthy hits. Yeah, I'd love to see a big game from Jalen Dickerson. Like I said, it's just great to see him recovered from the injury and back and everything. And I mean, I just want to see a bunch of turnovers. I want to see this defense feast on Saturday. It's an offense again. If you can't get turnovers off of Vandy, we've got some issues. I mean, straight up, you've got serious issues. So, I didn't look to see how many turnovers Vandy has this season. Again, they've played. Let's see. I'm trying to see how many times has Vandy turned the football over this year in 2 games? How many times have they turned it over? Let's see. Let's go to team stats. Let's go to team stats. Let's see. Where would that be? Total offense, returns, kicking, penalty, fumbles lost. Dang. They forced 5 fumbles and recovered 3 of them. That's not bad. That's not bad. They're 14 and 34 on third downs. That's not terrible, actually, to be honest with you. They've thrown 4. Okay, so they've turned the ball over 4 times in 2 games, from what I can see. So yeah, 4 times. Okay, so I mean they're averaging 2 turnovers a game right now. So I mean, 2 or more is the goal, I think, to get turnovers wise. Let's see. Trip Roche, we have a good front line on defense. It's the secondary that kills us. And I don't disagree. Like I said, I'm just trying to look at the positive and be sort of positive here. You face one of the best offenses in the country in Florida. You're not going to see that this week. I mean, their top receiving option is Cam Johnson, who J.C. Horn's going to eliminate. The other guys are Chris. I mean, their leading receiver, guys, their leading receiver is Cam Johnson through 2 games, and he has 84 receiving yards. Literally 84. So, I mean, Carolina's defense should feast, like I said. There's no excuse. Let's see. Carolina Titan. Oh, just think the head coach played that position. Yeah, no, and that's been my biggest gripe as far as with Muschamp and the defense is like he's a defensive guy per se, and his defense hadn't been good. But again, I think this is a game for South Carolina where you bounce back. You guys may have heard me on the podcast this morning or whenever. I go down this Vandy team and I almost struggle to find like where is Vandy going to beat South Carolina? Like where is the matchup Vandy's looking at and they're going to expose us, quote unquote. Like I just don't see it. Lindsey Hagler, do you worry that since Vandy is not that good, we play well and start to get excited about how we look, then play like crap against Auburn? No, I don't know that there is a score that we could win by that is going to make, is going to cure everything. Like I mean, I know not me. I mean, listen, let me put it this way. Let's say we beat Vandy, which I think we're all expecting. I'm going to be picking South Carolina to beat Vandy. My official score prediction will drop tomorrow. Just because you beat Vandy doesn't mean all everything's fixed, right? Just because you beat Vandy doesn't mean everything's great in Gamecock country. But I'm going to enjoy the win. I mean, because we don't know how many we're going to get this year. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, it's not going to heal all wounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think there will be an overreaction to all of a sudden because we beat Vanderbilt. We're this great team and all of our problems are fixed. No, I don't think that'll be the case. I could be wrong. I mean, I'm sure there'll be some fans that think that, but yours truly, I mean, we'll acknowledge the positives and we'll celebrate the victory over Vandy, but that will not impact my feelings on the Auburn game. Will Collins, do you think we'll see Doty at quarterback or Helinski if we get up big? I'd certainly hope so. I mean, I'd like to see other guys get in there. I mean, that's, and this might sound bad to some of you. I'd rather see Doty play than Helinski. I mean, Helinski's a known commodity. We understand what Helinski provides. Just get Doty in there. Get him some experience. Get him some reps. I mean, again, all due respect to Helinski, whatever. If he gets in, that's fine with me. But I'd rather see the young guy get in there. I'd rather see the young guy, take his licks and get some game experience. Let's see. Brian Welch, did you watch any of the Vandy A&M game a couple weeks ago? Is A&M that bad to struggle with Vandy and get blown out by Bama? I think A&M has their own issues for sure. And it was week 1 after a weird offseason. I don't take away much from that game. So, Vandy's got they got some decent pieces on defense, but I attribute it more so to just being week 1 than Vandy was that good to challenge A&M like that. Taylor Novinger says, if we win Saturday, I think we have a good chance against Auburn to beat Auburn. Do you agree? Again, I think just because you beat Vandy it doesn't mean anything for the Auburn game. I mean, maybe as far as this team gets some confidence, which certainly, yes, you finally get some confidence. You get something to build off of. You're something to feel good about. But just because you beat Vandy, again, it's a game you should win, bro. You're favored by 2 touchdowns. Like, there's no excuse. Let me look. Let's see if the line has jumped at all because I heard somebody say yesterday it actually jumped to 13.5. Oh, and there is a college game on tonight. Let's go. And Bucks Bears. How about that? We got some football on tonight. Let's go. And the call-in show is tonight. Let's see. Yeah, and so now South Carolina sits as a 13-point favorite. So, dude, you're expected to win. I mean, it doesn't, again, to me, there's certainly going to be positives you can pull from the game, but nothing that I say, oh, well, this happened, so now we're going to beat Auburn. I think those two things will be exclusive. Eric Henderson, one of the big things we were missing, like we did at the end of the Spurrier era, is that we don't have that leader in the locker room and huddle on both sides of the ball. See, that's tough to say because I'm not in the locker room. Like, I don't know. The leadership on this team could be great. I think it more so points to coaching, to be honest with you. Jeremy Crenshaw, I always give Vandy credit. They have a high academic standard, and basically a lot of great athletes are C students at best. Yeah, they're smart. I mean, yeah, that's good. Congratulations. Ritter, do you think Coach Boom will blame the rain? Do you think Coach Boom will blame the rain if we lose? I don't know, Ritter. I don't even want to think about it, to be honest. Tanner Poor, the only way we beat Auburn is if we make Bo Nix play like trash. Well, yeah, that would certainly help. Eric Henderson, 2007 Vandy still haunts me when we were undefeated and ranked number 6 in the BCS. Then we never recovered from that blow. Never underestimate them. Yeah. No, you make a good point. I would love to know what the line was that day because, South Carolina was favored. Obviously, the game was at home. Yeah, it was brutal. It was a brutal game. So, I mean, I'm not saying take them for granted or anything, obviously. Like, I'm obviously don't take them for granted, but, if South Carolina goes out there and, in my opinion, plays the way they should, if South Carolina goes out there and plays the way they should, I mean, I don't see this being an issue. I really don't. Phil Carter Harris, I was in the stands in 2007. We lost to Vandy. That was brutal, dude. I was watching the game with a group of my friends in a Wild Wings in Augusta, Georgia, and it was not fun. It was not fun at all. Yep. Like I said, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls as well. 843-790-3377. You guys want to get any questions in, you can call. Leave your comments, whatever it may be. So you guys give a ring or leave your questions. Like I said, my 3 keys to victory I just posted. Let's see. My 3 keys to victory. Number 1, feed Kevin Harris. Number 2, attack the freshman quarterback. And number 3, get ahead, stay ahead. And I think number 3 is probably the most important, to be honest with you. I'm going to talk about that and probably post a clip a little bit later today. But I think it's just going to be so pivotal in this game because there's so much turmoil going on. You've lost 2 in a row. All the chatter of Will Muschamp, all that stuff. It's pivotal for this team to me. The longer you let a team like Vandy hang around that you should beat, and I say you are better than, the more they're going to believe, hey, we can win this football game. So I think you need to get ahead, stay ahead, kick them while they're down, put your foot on Vandy's throat. Don't let them even feel like they've got a chance in this football game. That's just my opinion. That to me is pivotal for this game. Let's see. Jonathan Murphy, what's the most hyped Carolina game you've ever been to? Well, see, I wasn't in the building for 2012 Georgia, so I know that's everybody's default answer. 2013 Clemson, or 2013 Clemson or 2014 Georgia is probably my top 2 for sure. Trip Roach, do you like the Astros? No, I just like the hat, man. I'm a Braves guy. Hopefully they clinch today. Brian Welch, we were lucky James Franklin didn't stay in Nashville. They'd be ahead of us as a program right now, too. I mean, we beat him while he was there, so I don't know. Let's see. Trip Roach, let's do them like we did Charleston Southern last year. I would love that. It ain't gonna happen, but I don't see us scoring 72. But hey, I'm all for it. I'd love to see it happen. I'd love to see it happen for sure. Let's see. Philip Carr Harris, we lost to UNC in something called an App State last year. We can't sleep on Vandy. You're right. You're right. I mean, hey, you're right. And there's a very infamous clip of me last year before the App State game saying that, I thought South Carolina were bigger than them on the line of scrimmage. They're not going to be able to hang with us in the trenches, and we're going to run away with the game. And sure enough, I was dead wrong. So, I mean, it's possible. And I mean, I'll tell you this, guys. I said it on the show. I'll say it again. I don't want to win by 3 or 7. If we win by 3 or 7, I'd rather lose. So if we don't blow them out, I'd rather just lose the game. Get Muschamp out. Because this will be the one if you lose that this will be the straw that broke the camel's back. This will be it. The Muschamp era will be over if you lose to Vanderbilt. So, I mean, I joke. I mean, obviously, I'm pulling for these players. I want these players to get a W. Like, I just, you know what I mean? I don't want these players to have to suffer through a loss to Vandy or the turmoil or whatever. But if we don't establish dominance and win by 14 or more, like a 7-point win does nothing for me. It does nothing. Nothing. So, again, maybe my expectations are too high. I don't know. Maybe my expectations are too high. I hate to set myself up for failure, but I just feel like this is one you should win comfortably. Like you should win it comfortably. Vandy is not as good as you. They're not as talented as you. They're not. They're nobody can justify that they are. So, again, guys, just quick reminder, if you haven't done so, check out the podcast that dropped this morning, episode 292, previewing the Vanderbilt game, everything as far as key matchups, keys to the game, my top storylines. Also, the conversation, the interview today, phenomenal. Kyle Peterson, ESPN baseball analyst, he's done College World Series. He's doing MLB playoffs right now. Big time guy. Big time dude, and obviously me being a big baseball guy, it was just a legendary conversation. So we obviously talked Carolina baseball, the 2010-12 run, current day. We talked Mark Kingston. We talked Ray Tanner, talked about his career as well, his media career. You guys check that out. Again, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube. You guys know where to find it. So Brian Welch, you think we fire him before the end of the weekend if we do take the L? And if so, do you think we let Bobo take over as interim head coach for the remainder of the season? If you lose to Vandy, I can't say for certain what will happen, but at worst, I think he should be fired by the bye week. At worst. I mean, at absolute worst. At absolute worst. So it's something I don't even want to think about. I don't want to even think about taking the L to Vandy. I really don't. But if it happens, it's tough for me to say. So. Should he be? Yes. Will he be? No. Travis Charles, do you think Helinski will get some playing time this game? He should. Maybe if we're up enough. But I don't know. I can't say for certain. Cannot say for certain. Jacob, I would trade a Vandy loss for a new head coach. I mean, teach their own, I guess. I mean, no comment. No comment. Justin Bell, say we lose to Vandy. Is the season worse than 2015? It's sure as hell heading that way. So, yeah. You lose to Vandy, you've officially hit rock bottom as a program. No doubt. You have hit rock bottom as a program if you lose to Vanderbilt. 110%. Touchdowns to home runs. Says if we lose, this will be the worst loss since the Citadel or even worse than the Citadel loss. Yeah, it'd be right up there for sure. I don't think it'd be worse than the Citadel loss, but it'd be right up there. Brayson Haney, how much do we have to beat Vandy by in order to have a significant amount of confidence going into the Auburn game? 3 touchdowns or more. I mean, you to have like any significant confidence, because if you go out there and win by 2 touchdowns, I'll just say, okay, you did what you were supposed to do. Nothing special, nothing flashy. 3 touchdown or more win, I'll start to say, okay, maybe this team started to figure something out. Like we're starting to feel good about it, whatever. You need to go out there and establish yourself as the better team, dominate, like whatever, to have significant confidence. I mean, there will be positives to pull away if you win by 14 or more or whatever, but, just my opinion. Again, I'm not trying to set my expectations too high. I'm trying to tell myself in the back of my mind that, oh, man, this is going to be a battle. I'm trying not to get but you just look at this team, like I said, on paper, and you look at what they have and you just think to yourself, there's no way South Carolina should not have their way Saturday. So TJ Horde, Deuce Staley is head coach. Nobody talks about him. I think the biggest thing he can't be the head coach because he has to have his degree or something. I'd be down for it, but I don't know. I don't know if it's possible. Jade Collins, what's its buyout at the end of the year? $13 million. $13 million will be Muschamp's buyout at the end of the season. Justin Bell, so you don't feel good winning by a field goal? No, like I said, I mean, to be honest, and you can take it however you want. I'd rather lose than win by a field goal or a touchdown. I'd rather lose. Honestly, because it just does nothing for you. It just does nothing for you to win by a touchdown. Like, does nothing. So, let's see. I mean, obviously, I'm pulling for us to win. Eric Henderson says, yeah, I'm tired of losing. Yes, I'm pulling for us to win. And it's more of like an expression, and it's just the sense of, if it's to that point where we win by a field goal, like, Muschamp needs to still be fired but he still needs to not be let on the plane. Like, Ryan Smith, we've got more receivers involved. That's obvious. I believe that's one of the biggest, if not the biggest issue. Yeah, you got to get more receivers involved this weekend. You got an opportunity with, again, Vandy, a defense that's not as good as the first two defenses you've played. Use this weekend to get some other guys going. Tony Stockman, does the Board of Trustees hold USC back from getting what they need to be successful? I have always been told that no matter who the coach was. Again, I don't know those guys. I don't know the Board of Trustees. There have certainly been some questionable moves for sure. Heck, I've even heard something, people say that the big money in Columbia still backs Muschamp as the head coach. And if that's the case, then I certainly question their motives as far as just winning the most important thing. I really, really do. Let's see. Touchdowns to home runs. Is the Auburn game the determinant for how the rest of the season will go? Well, right now the Vandy game is. Auburn would obviously, if you were able to upset Auburn somehow, that would be a huge turn back in the right direction for your season, no question. But you got to beat Vandy first. You got to take care of Vandy first. But it could be a big game. Could be a spark for sure. Lance Player, at this point, Muschamp has to prove he can make something happen within the next 3, and then let's talk. But until then, you know what's up. Yeah. I mean, you need a big momentum building or a big confidence building win this weekend because you've got Auburn, LSU, A&M following. And then Ole Miss, which it's crazy you play 4 SEC West teams in a row. But yeah, I mean, it's, this stretch is huge. So. Philip Carter Harris, the next guy needs to have proven head coaching experience or at the very least coordinator experience at a D1 school, has done more with less and beaten bigger schools. I don't understand why people throw out names with no experience. This is the SEC, not the WAC conference. I mean, yeah, like the guy you're basically that fits the bill of what you're saying is Matt Campbell from Iowa State. I feel like he'd be a great fit. This may sound crazy. I don't mind rolling the dice on a guy. I really don't. I don't mind rolling the dice on a Billy Napier. I don't mind rolling the dice on a Josh Heupel. Dude, at this point, just anybody but Muschamp. Like, just anybody. I mean, and I hate to bring him up, but Clemson rolled the dice on Dabo Swinney, and look what happened. So sometimes you never know. Sometimes you have to roll the dice. I think Matt Campbell, those at the top of my list. Could you get him? I don't know. But somebody like that, I do agree with you. Somebody that has taken, less talent and done more. Like, I think that's kind of the coach you need here, a guy that can take talent and get the most out of them. And that's not to say we don't have talent on the roster, but I'm just saying South Carolina's not recruiting in a top 5 clip every year. So get a guy who can come in, take the talent you have, and get the most out of them. I do agree with you there. G-Man Strating, how important is a score in our opening offensive drive? I mean, it's not the most important thing. It's certainly a nice to have for sure. And like I said, get ahead, stay ahead is a key to the game for me. It's not a must-have by any means, but it's certainly going to help the cause, no question. Tim Woodward, Isn't Hill available again next year? If so, quarterback drama with current quarterbacks and Gunner coming in. Well, Gunner will not be in next year. He will be in 2022. Colton Gaither will be in, but Gunner will not be in yet. But, I mean, yeah, Colin can come back. So, I mean, I told you guys, I think that if Colin stays healthy and plays well, that transferring for Ryan Helinski is not off the table and probably what he should do, to be totally honest with you. So, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, dude, that's what makes college football so crazy is things can change so quickly. So you never know what's going to happen. Let's see. Lance Player, Napier's a damn good fit and will build a solid program. Yeah, I wouldn't mind rolling the dice on Billy Napier. Brian Welch, obviously I always want to win, but I'm scared of us pulling 2 upsets, beating Vandy and Mizzou and only going 4-6, maybe pulling off a bowl win, and people think we're getting better as a program. I mean, I'm not pulling against that. Dude, I'm pulling for us to win. But if you do that, like, there's nothing that's going to change my mind that says Will Muschamp is the long-term answer as far as getting us back, even competing to go to Atlanta. Like, there's nothing that's going to change my mind until we do it. Touchdowns to home runs, Tennessee or UGA this weekend? I've got UGA big. I think UGA covers the 12-point spread. Philip Carter Harris, anybody but Muschamp sounds risky as hell. We could be in the same situation in 5 years we are now. Obviously, when I say that, I mean, I don't literally mean anybody, but what I'm saying is I'm not afraid to roll the dice on a guy. Like a Billy Napier. Like, if you feel like he's the best option, I'm not afraid to roll the dice on him. I'm really not. I'm not it doesn't, for me, it doesn't have to be a Steve Spurrier. It doesn't have to be a Lou Holtz. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't mind bringing in a smaller guy, a guy that can really make South Carolina his own and just kind of go from there. You know what I mean? Like, Will Muschamp was proven. Yeah, he was a proven loser from Florida. I mean, what good does that do? I don't care that he was at Florida. It doesn't do me any good. I don't need a guy to have SEC experience. Like, who gives a damn? Who gives a shit, really? Like, that's what you saw the SEC get in trouble with their coaches because it's the good old boy system where it's like, oh, did you work for Nick Saban? Okay, well, you're getting a job. It's like, maybe that's not the best route to take. Not every guy that works for Nick Saban is Nick Saban. They're not. So, I wouldn't mind us thinking outside the box a little bit and getting a little creative with the hires. All I'm saying. D White 864, is it possible for us to get Joe Brady? Would you like the hire? I'd love the hire. I would love the hire. Would love it, dude. Offensive mind, hell yes. Sign me up for Joe Brady, bro. I would love that hire. Younger guy, too. Has been on a national championship staff. I mean, sign me up. Straight up sign me up, dude. I'd love it. Would absolutely love it. Let's see. All right, still taking your questions, comments, whatever you guys do want to call in. 843-790-3377. You're more than welcome to call in. We can talk Vandy. We can talk whatever it is. Gamecocks, not Gamecocks. We can talk baseball. Like I said, Braves play at 2:08 today. Hoping they clinch the series, man. Crazy. The Braves might be making a run. What did the Dodgers? Dodgers win last night? What did the Dodgers do last night? Dodgers did win last night, so they are up 2-0. Yeah, I think you're probably going to run into a buzzsaw when it comes to the Dodgers. I'm hoping when they play the Dodgers, by the way, every game's on at 2:00. Like, it's like I got stuff to do, bro. I mean, I'd love to just sit down and watch the game for 3.5 hours. Like, we have things to do. So, Philip Carter Harris, who were the guys that Carolina interviewed along with Muschamp before Muschamp was hired, and where are they now? Any good candidates from that pool? Not from then, I would say. I mean, I think Kirby Smart, Lincoln Riley, Tom Herman, and then it was Muschamp. Like, that's kind of who they were going after. Hampton Lacey, you're exactly right. He's not Saban or smart. And what I'm saying is like people need to stop trying to find the next Nick Saban. It's like just because you worked for Nick Saban doesn't mean you are Nick Saban. Because like if you listen to like Muschamp and Jeremy Pruitt and like even Kirby, they all sound exactly the same because they're all under Saban. Effort, toughness, discipline, effort. Like it's all the same. Like it's so crazy. You know what I mean? Like it's weird. Touchdowns to home runs. Sean Elliott has played a closer Clemson game than Muschamp has ever, which is sad to think about. Yeah, it is kind of sad. Terrell Brown, how could a losing coach be signed to a long-term multi-million-dollar contract? Somebody needs to answer for this debacle. Yeah, I mean, we gave a king's ransom to a coach that nobody else wanted. And, I mean, you know, I don't know. That's tough for me to answer. Tough question for me to answer. How about this? Urban Meyer back on the sidelines. Matt Leinart gives his thoughts on a potential coaching comeback. Urban, signed me up for Urban Meyer. It'll never happen for one. That would not be popular amongst some South Carolina fans, but I don't really give a damn. I will take a national title. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn how much of a scumbag he is. He is a scumbag. We all know he is. But bro, I'll take Urban Meyer. 110%. Leinart said he thinks he's done, though. Nah. Toby, says he would choose. Who would you choose to be a good coach? I'd like Joe Brady from the Panthers. I mean, Joe Brady or Matt Campbell would be my top two. Billy Napier and Matt Heupel, the next two. So, yeah, I mean, any of those guys would be good with me. So, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if we're going to fire Muschamp or not. It's just because it comes back to, you know, it comes back to not only do you have to fire Muschamp and pay his buyout, but you have to hire the next coach and the staff. Will we pay the money? I don't know. Let's see. Lance Player, what are your thoughts on Skip Holtz? That would be interesting for sure. That would be very, very interesting. See, Brian Welch, we call it lightning in a bottle with Spurrier. We need someone young with an offensive mind to create a new culture in Columbia with the football program and start winning. Yeah, I agree 110%. Toby, would you want them to bring their own staff or keep everyone else that we have? No, bring your own staff. No, that would, no. Clean house and start over. Anthony Plumley, what's up? Yo, Plums, what's up, man? I think the first step this year is tanking Tanner. I mean, something's got to happen. Something's got to happen. The wild card in all this is Bob Castle. What does he want to do? John Gibbs, I thought we need younger coaches that can relate to today's players and just have fun, make them want to play for you. Also, bring in somebody who is true and true. Garnet and Black would be an answer, but who? Yeah, hey, Connor Shaw, you want to put? I'm just kidding. Christian Carver, I wish we would have had Mike Leach when we had the chance. He's fun. I mean, he'd have made us interesting. He'd have made us relevant. That's for sure. You know, he's made Mississippi State fun to watch, if nothing else. He's made them fun to watch. So, again, taking your questions, comments, calls as well, 843-790-3377, guys. If you do want to call in, talk Vandy, talk Muschamp, talk whatever, we can do it. Tony Stockman, if Carolina's going to lose, I would put underclassmen in on defense and roll the dice. At least they would be back to 2 to 4 years because the seniors obviously aren't getting it done. Yeah, again, play the young talent. Play the young talent for sure. Anthony Plumley, he hasn't hired a home run. The best one is Frank. He didn't hire Frank Martin either. Tanner did not hire Frank Martin. That was Hyman that did that. Frank is above it. Yeah, Frank's a great basketball coach for sure, but he did not hire Frank Martin. So, yeah. Let's see. Terrell Brown, Bobo is in a tenuous position. What happens to him? I mean, if Muschamp gets canned, he's gone. I mean, Bobo knew what he was signing up for. He knew this might be a 1-year lease. So, whatever. I mean, I think Bobo will land on his feet, and heck, he may even take a head coaching job somewhere else. But, Toby, if they were to fire Muschamp, would you see them doing it this year due to all the all SEC schedule? It's tough to say, man. I mean, if things get bad enough, I think it could happen, but it's tough to say. It's tough to say. Brayson Haney, over under 28 points, 250 yards passing, 7 different players catch the ball. Definitely under 7 players catching the ball. Like, I'm going way under. Over under 28 points for Saturday. I want to say over. I'm going to go under because I think we're going to run the ball a lot. 250 passing, I will go over on that. I will go over. As long as we catch the football, I'm going over. Anthony, Kirby went to UGA because it was a way easier job to take and better, to be honest. I mean, yeah, I guess you could certainly say that. I mean, a little bit easier when you got all the players they have, for sure. Let's see. Again, taking your questions, comments, calls, guys. If you have not done so, check out the podcast that dropped this morning, episode 292. Obviously breaking down Vandy, and also Kyle Peterson at ESPN joined the show. Very, very good stuff. Also, do want to remind you, Watch Party Overtime Bar and Grill this Saturday, same exact schedule as last week. Doors will open at 11. I'm doing the pregame show on the Daily Crow here from 11 to 11:30. Kickoff at noon, obviously. Postgame show immediately following. Going to be a lot of fun. Drink specials, food specials, everything in between, guys. Going to be a blast. You guys, if you're in the city, you need a spot to watch the game, be sure to come check it out. It's a really, really good time for sure. Let's see. Kevin Harris plus 150 on the ground. I think he goes over 150. Yep. I think he has a really, really good day. I think we're going to – I hope we do this at least. I think we're going to feed him the football. I think we're going to feed him the football. But, yeah, you go down the list with Vandy, man, and, I'm just looking at, like, their roster. I mean, it's just there's not a lot of guys to talk about, man. This is a game South Carolina should be able to dominate. I mean, really. I know I'm setting my expectations way too high. Maybe I'm setting you guys' expectations way too high, but this is a game South Carolina should be able to establish with a better football team, no question. Terrell Brown, appreciate you tuning in. Brian Welch, huge Gamecock basketball fan too. Definitely proud of men and women's basketball lately, but my heart is definitely more with football and baseball. And it sucks to have seen both those programs fall so quickly after having peak success in program history for both sports. I feel good, honestly, about where the baseball program's headed. I feel good about where the baseball program's headed. I like Mark Kingston. Until he proves me wrong, until they lose, I like Mark Kingston. I like Kingston. I think he's a baseball guy. So I feel good about the direction of the baseball program. I mean, football, obviously, yeah, you got to get it back on track. So, Jonathan Moffrey, Vandy has the most missed tackles in the country amongst Power 5 teams. So that's a good stat going into it. Tony Stockman, enjoy the show. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you tuning in for sure. I got about 10 minutes left here. Like I said, taking your questions, comments, calls as well. 843-790-3377. 843-790-3377. If you guys do want to call in, that is the number. So, again, taking your questions, comments, everything else. I'm going to be recording clips right after this. Will Muschamp call-in show tonight at 7. So, we're going to be tuning into that, obviously, see what old Champ's got to say heading into Vandy weekend. So, should be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun. Brian Welch loved the Kingston hire, by the way. Agree he has baseball head in the right direction again. Yeah, I feel good about it. I feel good. I mean, obviously, you got to perform on the field. You got to make it happen because you've got tons of talent. But at this point, I feel good about it. Toby says, if Muschamp is fired, do you see Gunnar Stockton decommitting? This is the most popular question when it comes to the Muschamp being fired talks and recruiting and stuff like that. Here's my take on it. Number one 5-star commit is not worth keeping a bad head coach. So, because, I mean, what do you want to happen? Okay, let's keep Muschamp. Gunnar gets on campus, and we still don't get the best out of him. Like, who gives a damn? You know what I mean? Like, what good does that do you? So, that's my first take on it. My second take, why is it a guarantee? Why is it a guarantee that he decommits if Muschamp's fired? They have a great relationship with the Shaw family as well. Yo, what's up, Plums? What's up?
Just watching the live stream.
Oh, yeah. What's up? You got a question, or did you just call in and say hey to me?
No, I had a question, man. I was just like,
no, I'm messing with you, bro.
I hear you. Like, why is Blue Dirty not seeing the field? Like, I don't understand.
Bro, that's the $1 million question, man. I mean, you'd think. Well, I mean, and here's the thing, bro. I've said this before. Like, I'm not one of those people that's like that was saying at the beginning of the season, like, you need to get him on the field. Like that was. It wasn't going to bother me if he didn't see the field necessarily. But two things. Number one, you said he's the fastest player on your team. And number two, you said he'd see the field. So, like, don't say he's going to play if he's not going to. That's what I think irked everybody. But I mean, why hasn't he, bro? I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea.
I mean, that's the thing. Cam's got this history, like, of, like, lying to everyone. And, like, the new thing where he's like, I'm not going to tell anybody about injuries.
Yeah. It's just a bad look, man, because it's so on brand for him. And, like, I mean, there are other coaches that are doing that, not talking about injuries, but for Muschamp, it's just,
you know, but
it's so Muschamp. It's so Muschamp. Yeah.
Right. It's the way he's coming with it.
Yeah.
Like,
but
I don't know, man. Like, I just like between that and just the lack of production from this supposedly great defensive backcourt of this man who's supposed to be a defensive back coach.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, dude, it's, you know, I talked about in the preseason, I mean, the safety position. And it's just the fact that in year 5, it's still a liability. I mean, it's just insane. I mean, how can you be that? How have we not recruited one safety worth a damn in 5 years? And that's his position. He literally played safety in college. Like, how is that one position not figured out?
Blows my mind.
Yeah.
That's what blows my mind. I'm looking at the roster like right now, and I'm just looking at these. I'm like, I don't even know these dudes' names hardly.
Yeah.
Like Jalen Dickerson. Jalen Dickerson was supposed to be this fantastic dude, and I have not heard anything.
Yeah. I mean, he's played, but it's just as a whole, man. I agree with you. I mean, the secondary's just been.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying he hasn't played. I'm just saying, like, I haven't heard his name.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's
Jalen Dickerson making a good play.
Right.
It's always like, oh, look, number 4 getting burned again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the most frustrating part, man. Is just Muschamp came in, touted as this defensive guru and this defensive head coach, and I mean, year 5, and I understand you played one of the best offenses in the country. Like, I totally get it. Florida, like, tip your cap to them. But
yeah.
we're like, and one of the things that frustrates me is, like, I was listening to somebody else was talking about this, and it's like, we're talking about things like tackling, like, you know, discipline, like, just we're talking about the basic things in year 5. Like, those are still issues, you know, like.
We're talking about things that me and you learned back in, like, Pee Wee football. Like,
yeah, we have year 1 problems in year 5. We have year 1 problems in year 5. That's what's frustrating. That's what's frustrating.
And that's the biggest thing for me, man. Is like it's year 1 problems, like you said. It's year 1 problems in year 5. That to me is like, it's a death note for his tenure. Like, to me, it has to be a death note for his tenure.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, that's
tackling problems on a team that's full of redshirt juniors, sophomores, and some even seniors. Like, that should be a non-issue.
Yeah, no, I agree. Trust me, you're preaching to the choir. I mean, I agree 110%. I mean, I just, you know, because I said before the season, it would be a bigger indictment on Will Muschamp as a head coach if we were bad on offense or average on offense this season, or excuse me, on defense this season versus offense. Because, I mean, when you hired him, you knew offense was going to be a struggle, but you damn sure thought that by year 5, we'd have a top-notch. At least you'd look at our defense and say, okay, this is the strength of our team. And, like, right now, I don't know that you really say that.
If he's he's the defensive guru, like, we should have a top 15 defense, period.
Yeah,
like, that may be a little –
at least top half of the conference, man. At least top half of the conference. That's not asking too much.
Top half of the conference, top 25 of the country. Like, that to me, that's like base. Like, that should be your bottom. Like, you're an SEC head coach. You're a quote unquote Saban disciple.
Yeah.
Like, you should have your defense on point. Because that should be like your big thing. Because your calling card is must have defense. And where we can't tackle a wet paper sack.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, like I said, I want to give some credit to Florida because they're fantastic offensively, but obviously, I mean, it's just pitiful in the secondary. But you got a chance. You got a chance this weekend to at least get some confidence. I mean, dude, Vandy is garbage on offense. I mean, they've scored 19 points in 2 games. So if we're looking bad against Vanderbilt defensively, then just throw the whole season away. I mean, basically. Like, pretty much, dude.
This problem is just like I'm gonna watch, but
right.
It's just, man, it's wild, bro. Like, there's like nobody on that Vandy team. Like, there's nobody. There's not a person on that team that anybody in South Carolina should be scared of. So if we should win that game running away, I think once again, like we thought about, Kevin Harris is the real deal. I think he's probably.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's one of my keys to the game is feed Kevin Harris. I mean, give him the football. You know what I mean? Like, I just establish that early. Continue to establish him as your number one option, your number one back. I mean, I definitely think, just making him a focal point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like it. I mean, I loved what I saw from Harris last week. He's the real deal, I think.
Oh, dude, that spin move pulled off.
Yeah.
Incredible.
No, that spin move is sick.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's definitely got to for the younger players because obviously it's worse. Like, let's be real. You can't play any worse.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. Well, yeah, Plums, I appreciate you calling him. I'm going to wrap this thing up. We got like a minute and a half left. So just, I'll text you, bro. I'll hit you up. It was good to talk to you.
Yeah, bro.
All right. Later. This is my good buddy, Anthony Plumley, calling in. So, yeah, we got about a minute left. I'll try to run through these questions. Let's see. Careful wearing that. Hire Eric Kimry. I'll have to tell Eric you said that. Toby, I feel like Joyner's capable a lot more as well. They just won't put the ball in his hands. I mean, dude, again, get him on the field. We need all the athletes we can get on the offensive side. Get him on the field. Brayson Haney, name a player for offense and defense who deserve more playing time. Mine are Birch and Joyner. Offensively, I would probably say that deserve more playing time. I'd probably say Doty on offense. Defensively, Birch. Yeah, defensively, definitely Birch. Terrell Brown, if Muschamp was a CEO, he'd be fired, no question. Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, guys, going to wrap it up here. Appreciate all the questions. Appreciate you all tuning in. Again, if you haven't checked out the podcast this morning, Vanderbilt preview plus Kyle Peterson at ESPN. Fantastic show, fantastic conversation. Kyle was gracious enough to be, or cool enough to be gracious with the time. Also, Saturday watch party, Overtime Bar and Grill. Guys, going to wrap up. Appreciate you all tuning in. We'll talk to you tomorrow, 12 to 1. You guys take care. Have a fantastic day. We will talk soon.